Welcome. Welcome to Satsang. So beautiful to be together with you all. We start as usual with a question that's come in advance from the online community, and then we'll open it up to any question that anyone here has. How can I continue to grow spiritually every day? Nice. On a personal level, I think of it more as an unfolding. When I think of growth, I think of actually going somewhere. So I think of a tree getting taller, or a child getting taller, or something actually getting larger in size. And for me, spiritual growth feels much more like an unfolding, an expansion of space, rather than an expansion of matter. So growth feels like an expansion of matter. I've eaten a lot of food, my stomach has grown. I'm a growing kid, I've eaten good food, I've taken my vitamins, my body has grown in size. Whereas spiritually, for me it feels like the more I grow, the less matter there is, and the more spaciousness there is. So it feels much more like an unfolding than a growth. And I think the way to do it is to just keep remembering, to just keep going back, because remember that Spirit is the truth of who we are. It's not like saying, how can I become a better physicist every day? Or how can I become a better mathematician every day? Or a better expert in Shakespearean literature every day? For those sorts of things, you actually would have to attain knowledge that isn't already self. You read it, you learn it, you get better at it. But spirituality is who we are. So it's going back to the truth of who we are. It's letting go of that which we are not, re-anchoring in that which we are, and unfolding the constraints of who we think we are. So a lot of us live in boxes. We call them labels, or identities, or personalities. Every time you say, I am like that, that's just how I am. Or, well, let me tell you something about myself. And you go into your likes, your dislikes, your history, your experiences, your thoughts, your beliefs, your dreams. It's a box. It's a label that we call identity or personality. Spirituality is actually letting go of that. Not saying it's bad or wrong. I mean, it's beautiful to have a place that you come from. It's beautiful to love that place. It's beautiful to love the family into which you were born, the people you know. I mean, there's nothing bad about this. as long as we don't identify it as self, as long as you're able to think about it more like, oh, that really nice factory that my vehicle was manufactured in, like those really nice people who put together the parts of this vehicle. Right? But who we are isn't the body. It's not that which was manufactured somewhere, put together someplace, impacted in some way, dented in some way. Right? If I were to say, tell me about your car, especially if you've got an old one that you love, you'd say, well, so this dent came from that time that I was parked here, and this is what happened, or this little ding came from this, and I remember, this little knob from my hubcap was taken off here, and this. It's stories. But it's stories about a vehicle. And that's how most of us live our lives, is stories about the vehicle. When I was 5, when I was 10, bless you, when I was 20. This is what happened in that place. This is what happened in this place. Here's where I got dented and dinged and damaged. And spirituality is about realizing I have this beautiful body. This beautiful body has had so many beautiful experiences that have shaped it. And we don't negate the body, we love the body. The body is the means through which we are able to interact with this extraordinary creation. The beauty of creation, the sights, the sounds, watching Ganga, watching a sunrise, hugging a loved one, drinking a cup of cool water on a hot day, listening to exquisite music, seeing beautiful artwork. Like this is physical body interacting with creation. If we didn't have a body, we wouldn't be able to do any of that. So we love the body, but we let go of the sense that we are the body. And so spirituality is just coming back over and over again to I am spirit. I am spirit. I am spirit. It's what spirituality literally means. Of spirit, pertaining to spirit. Remembering we are spirit. And so to unfold spiritually is to break through, not violently, but just gently, like the petals of a flower open, or like the skin of, I was going to say snakes, but we do it too. Just slough off, old skin just sloughs off. So we let go of that which is old and untrue in order to awaken into that which is true. And the best way to do it is to just keep reminding yourself. Every time you get stuck, oh my God, I can't believe I gained weight over the holidays. I should not have eaten all of that cake. I cannot believe it. I am fat and ugly. Oh my God, my hair, what is wrong with it? I never should have gone to that salon that she sent me to. Oh, I'll never believe her again. Or, God, I wish I had this type of career, relationship, bank balance, popularity, talent, intellect. Anything that we are wishing that we had, that we see that someone else seems to have, some way that we feel like we are lacking. We just come back. Because all of those are identifications with physical body, brain, which is also physical body of the brain. And we just keep coming back. to I'm spirit. I'm spirit. I'm spirit. We don't get mad at ourselves. We don't say, oh, you're so stupid, so you'll never get this spirituality thing done. Because again, see, that's potential benefit in some way of my life, not a potential benefit. Potential hindrance, a hurdle. Old, young, male, female, rich, poor, successful, not successful, beautiful, ugly. We make all of these immediate judgments. Spirit. 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 And it shifts how you move through the world. And yes, it makes you grow and expand in energy, in awareness. But it also changes your every minute and every moment experience in a body here on earth. Because it changes the nature of your interactions. So instead of being one object meeting another object, you're spirit meeting spirit. And it makes even the most mundane interactions or frustrating interactions an opportunity for a beautiful spiritual flowering. Questions? Any questions anyone here has? Yes.
Namaste. So I would like to ask that what would you suggest to those spiritual people who are bound to work in a not so spiritual environment, or who are bound to be with a family which is not so spiritual? So because there would always be clashes. Thank you.
Sure. So remember that spirituality is remembering that you are a spirit. It's not about how much salt should be in food, or how the dishwasher should be loaded, or who should have to take out the trash. A lot of times we get into conflict that really is ego to ego conflict. But as beings who like to give ourselves spiritual stamps of approval, we'll call things spiritual. We'll sort of co-opt spirituality as though spirit were on my side and not your side. And that we're only having this conflict because I am a spiritual being and you are not. And therefore, you should defer to what I say about how the dishwasher should be loaded, or how we should dress, or how we should eat, or how we should live. Spirituality is I live committed to remembering that I am spirit. Which means committed to remembering that you are spirit. Which means when that person I'm living with is acting out of what I can see is ego, is fear, is confusion, is desire, is ignorance, is different aspects of their karmic package. Well, I'm going to be able to see that with clarity and compassion. And I'm going to look at the spirit in them from the place of spirit in me, instead of allowing their ego to trigger my ego. Otherwise, what happens is we get triggered, and then we lose ourselves. And so the best way to handle it is to just keep going back to your own spiritual practice. Now, there will be times when there are sources of conflict. Spirituality never says to jam something down someone else's throat. Spirituality is not about proselytization. It is not about conversion. It is not about convincing others. It's not about winning fights. It's about a way to live. And so you don't have to convince others that you are right. If you're really living a spiritual life, you become like a magnet. You know, one of my favorite metaphors of this is, if you and I are each holding on to opposite ends of a rope, right? Imagine that we're each pulling ends of a rope. Now there's a lot of actual tension in that rope, right? We're each pulling. Now in order to render that rope free of all tension, only one of us has to let go. It's a beautiful, beautiful teaching about tension in the world. We don't actually both have to let go, only one of us does. Which means in conflict between people, it's the same thing. Most of us think, well, 50-50, right? I mean, I'll apologize if you apologize. I'll accept my part, you accept your part. I'll forgive you, you forgive me. And until and unless you do your part, I can't do my part, which means that I can't live in peace. But that isn't true. All I have to do is let go of my end of the rope. I hereby let go of an attachment to how the dishwasher is loaded, how anybody else is dressing, how anybody else is living, what TV anybody else is watching. I let go of my end of the rope. Boom, end of tension. They may continue to do whatever they are doing, but that tension isn't there. The tension is only there because I want something different. And as a spiritual being, I may convince myself I want it because it's good for them. Right? As spiritual beings, we have a very unique sort of ego. Because what we want it because we always say, well, it's better for you. I'm just thinking for you. Right? But that isn't really honoring each other's karmic incarnation. Spirituality never said that we have dominion over someone else's life. Only over our own. So if you can let go of your end of the cord of tension, the clashes end. That's in the family. Now back to the workplace for a moment, because family in a lot of cases, we don't have a lot of options around. Until and unless you are prepared or you need, for whatever reason, to actually leave a family situation, which is usually not the recommended course. It's not that it never is, it just usually isn't. We do really have to learn how to adapt. But workplace situations, not always. Meaning, if it's just a matter with different colleagues or co-workers, yeah, take it as part of your spiritual work. Take it as part of that which the universe is giving you to help you grow and learn. But if it's something very core, I've had a lot of people come in and say, I've got a big spiritual clash with the company I'm working for, or the values of the company I'm working for. How can I overcome that? And the truth is that in a lot of cases, in those situations, the answer is to find yourself a different company. Because as spiritual people, you're going to have a really hard time getting up and going to work every day for a company that is making money harming the environment, that's spewing waste into the air, into the ground. that's engaging child labor sweatshops, that's subjugating people, that's causing ripple effects of harm across the world, as tragically far too many of our corporations do. And so in situations like that, it's really about how can I have the courage, the faith in the universe to know that there will be food on my table, even if I stop working for this particular corporation that is wreaking havoc in the world. So those are actually situations in which, as a spiritual being, you need to dive within for the courage to live your truth. To say, I know I may be being paid a lot of money, I've got a lot of perks, I've got a lot of seniority, maybe I'm next in line for senior VP. But at the end of the day, the karmic fruit that's coming my way, based on what is happening through this company, it's not worth it. And so you change. So in the workplace, it depends where the clash is. Interpersonal stuff, take it as sadhana. Values of the actual company you are supporting, issues of violence, of harm, find a place that you can put your time and energy into that's actually helping to heal the world rather than hurt it. You're not a slave. A lot of us think we are. We feel like slaves to our place of business, because we've been so terrified into thinking that somehow I won't have money to eat if I don't, punch my time card here. But you will. You will. There's plenty of organizations that'll help you put food on your table, but also help fill your heart. Beautiful. Yes.
Namaste. I want to ask that in this world there are so many peoples, and each and every people have different definition of success. Each and every people has different definition of success. So I want to know that what is the actual success of human being? Where human being want to reach at the end? What is the basic definition? Yeah, we can say what is the basic definition for the all human being of the success? I want to ask with you, what is the definition according to you, success? Thank you.
Sure. So, according to our scriptures, according to our spiritual tradition, the highest goal of human life is enlightenment, moksha, liberation, freedom, the experiential awareness of the truth of who you are, that you are one with God. Now, it may happen in this lifetime. It may happen next lifetime. The universe is infinitely patient. Because, of course, all of that keeping us from that is ignorance, is ego, is illusion, is attachment, is all of that sticky stuff, Maya, that keeps us convinced that we are this physical body, that we are our stories, our dramas, our histories. But the ultimate goal, success, is moksha. Now, mistakenly, a lot of people think that moksha is that which you get only after you die. And people will say, when I drop the body, then I will have moksha. But the truth is, it's not the body keeping you from freedom. Nobody is not enlightened because of their elbows or their knees or their any part of the body. There's nothing in the physical body keeping us from being absolutely liberated. It's the mind. And here's the great tragic irony of the cycle of birth and death, of reincarnation, is the mind comes with you. Right? That's the sort of gotcha of the universe, is that people think, well, I'll just live this life in illusion, in desire and lust and greed and all of that. And anyway, once I drop the body, I'll have freedom anyway. And the mind actually travels with you. Man, buddhi, ahankar. The subtle body that travels with the soul, with Atma. Man, buddhi, ahankar. The mind, the intellect, the ego. It comes with us. Don't think that when you lose this body and get a new one that you're going to be free of your ego. It comes with you. So you may say, well, I think I'll wait to start my spiritual practice till next life. No problem. The universe is infinitely patient. But remember that you're starting with the same material. It's not like you get to say, well, I'll have what's behind door number 2. This is coming with you. The beauty of that is all of the sadhana that you do. And a lot of us, we sit to meditate. And then the mind wanders, right? And we bring it back. The next thing we know, it's in the middle of some violence, or it's in the middle of some sex, or it's in the middle of some food, or it's in the middle of some grudge, or it's in the middle, and then we bring it back. And then we find there's the mind again. And we may get frustrated and say, my God, it's never going to work for me. But the good news is that all of that which you've done, these impressions upon the mind, of your meditation, of your yoga, of your seva, whether you actually attain enlightenment, moksha in this life or not, that goes with you as well. All of those impressions upon your mind, the work you do with your ego, that comes with you too. So that's the official version of what is a successful life. Attain moksha, get liberated, have enlightenment. But I would add something else to that, which may be somewhat more of a low-hanging fruit, let's say. For those of us who got started on the path a little bit late in life, I would say on a personal level that success is being able to live in love in as many moments of your life as you possibly can. Because what I have found is that love gives us everything else. The happiness, the peace, the meaning in life, the fulfillment, it all comes with love. The dilemma for most of us is that we attach that love simply to another human being. And then when that human being acts the way we want them to act, we're happy and in love. They don't, we're not. But there's a very beautiful line that Pujya Sadhviji sings in the arati each evening in the kirtan that he leads, that says Sabse Unchi Prem Sagai. And it means the highest form of love is love for God. And I think that the more moments you can live of life in love for God, and it doesn't matter whether for you there's a name or a form of God, or whether it's just spirit and divinity or source, your true self. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you connect to it. But that ability to live in every moment anchored in love for that moment, for the divine presence of that moment. I think that gives you everything else that we look for. Because what you see is people have a lot of money. They have a lot of success. But they don't actually have happiness. There's a great story of a woman who's home alone one day. And these 3 guys show up on her doorstep. She opens the door and one of them introduces himself and he says, "Hello, my name is Love, and with me are success and wealth. Can we come inside?" She says, "Yes, yes, of course." And they say, "Oh, but wait, is your husband home?" It's traditional India, bear with us. And she says, "No." And they say, "Okay, well then we'll wait outside till your husband comes home. We'll sit in the yard." So the 3 of them sit in the yard, and eventually her husband comes home and she tells him what's happened. And they go to allow the men in, but then Love tells them, forgot to mention, only one of us can enter your house. Discuss amongst yourselves and tell us which of us you want to invite in. So the wife says, "I think we should invite in success. Because if we invite in success, then our son is going to get admitted into that university he's trying to get admitted to. And then he's going to get the best job, and then he will be so happy, and we will all be taken care of." The husband says, "Well, yeah, that's true, but if we invited wealth in, then we'd already be set. It wouldn't matter what university he got into. It wouldn't matter what job he got. And we wouldn't have to wait. We'd have money from right now." She says, "Yeah, you're right." But then their daughter says, "Mom, Dad, respectfully, I would say let's invite Love in. Because no matter whether my brother gets into this university or not, no matter whether we've got money or not, if we have love, then we'll all be happy." So her parents are slightly embarrassed, and they see her wisdom, and they go to the door and they say, "Okay, Love, you can enter the house." So Love stands up and he starts walking toward the doorway. And as he's just crossing the threshold of the doorway, the other 2 follow him. And the woman says, wait, I'm so sorry. But we've chosen Love, and as you said, only one can come in, so we're going to have to not let you in. And Love says, "Mataji, that would have been true if you had chosen success or wealth. They would have had to enter alone. But wherever love goes, success and wealth always follow." So I love that story. And I think it's really true. That the more we can live in love for the truth of who we are, our capital S self, love for the capital S self of others, not the ways that their own particular karmic drama may be unfolding in ignorance or greed or jealousy or competition or annoyance or obnoxiousness or whatever it may be. But love for that capital S self of them. And love for the presence of that divine spirit in every tree, in every blade of grass, in every minute of our lives. And it's so available. I mean, there's nothing you have to do, nothing you have to own, nowhere you have to go. I mean, you just look at the stars, or you look at the trees, or you look at each other. Or you close your eyes and you put your hands on your heart and you just feel. You feel that presence of love in yourself. And I think the more minutes of your life you can live like that, the more of a success your life is. You end up with moksha, congratulations. But if not, at least you get to spend next life in love again. Beautiful. Have a wonderful rest of your evenings. A beautiful, beautiful day to our family joining us online through the gift of technology. And so much love to you all. And I look so forward to seeing you tomorrow. We'll now be having satsang again every evening. And we invite you to join us. I'm assuming that most of you were with us in the Ganga Arti just before this. But if not, we invite you to join us every evening just before satsang for our sacred Ganga Arti. We also have very beautiful, open to all yoga classes every morning and every afternoon. We invite you to join us for those as well. So, stay connected, stay anchored, stay grounded, and stay rooted in love.